In this video, we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of questionnaires and interviews. So to remind ourselves, a questionnaire is a set of questions designed to obtain data. This is done independently of another person. On the other hand, we have an interview, which is a way of collecting data where a person asks a respondent questions personally. So you have an interviewer and an interviewee. So let's look at some advantages and disadvantages. So a questionnaire. Respondents are more likely to be honest. Multiple respondents can answer at the same time, so you can hand out multiple questionnaires and then all do it at the same time. And we have no interviewer bias. So if you had someone interviewing, they might lead the person on to answering in a certain way. The disadvantage is the respondents may not understand the questions. So someone might not be able to read the question properly or misunderstand what it's asking. These tend to have a lower response rate, and you may not understand the respondent's answers. So like with them not understanding the question, you may not understand their answers. Now, for an interview, you can explain the questions in more detail, so the interviewer has that ability to explain those more. Personal element may help people feel comfortable. Respondents can explain their answers, so that avoids this bottom problem over here where they might not understand what the respondent has written. And you have a higher response rate because you are physically asking the person the questions. Now, on the other side of things, respondents may be less honest because it might be embarrassing some of their answers and they don't want to own up to them. It is time consuming. You need one person interviewing one person, like one in respondee. Sample size, therefore, will be smaller, and there is possible bias, so the interviewer might lead people on with their questions. So let's look at an example. A school wants to find out what year 11s think about homework. They come up with two methods. So method one is tutors interview all of their tutor groups. Method two is each student is given a questionnaire to fill out. And we're asked to state which method you would choose, commenting on the advantage and disadvantage. Now, clearly from this, either method could be used and it has got merit in both. So when answering a question like this, you just have to back up your answer. So personally, I think method two would make more sense. So with method two, this is less time consuming. On the tutor. And they can all be done at once. So the other good positive thing is that, so let's put that with a star. The tutor's bias won't affect the answers. So if they were doing interviewers, they might lead their tutor group on to a certain point of view. But if they're just giving them a questionnaire, they'll fill them out independently without this bias. Now, the problem with this is that there might be a lower response rate. And the tutor or the person collecting the data might not understand the answers written. Fortunately, in the real world, if it's your tutor, if it's a school, they can follow up on those and question and see what they meant by their answers because they're actually in that place. But in the real world, if you're questioning someone and then never see them again, that's not going to be possible.